Now that is the core of the composition API. We covered the core features in the last lectures: ref and reactive, computed, watch, and calling functions from inside the template. What's really important to me here is that you realize that the template code does not change. We still use interpolation, we could still use vbind, we still listen to events in exactly the same way we did before. We can still use vmodel. That's all the same. Other options we might have, like components or props, also would not change. It's just the logic here in setup which is new and which replaces, as you learned, data, methods, computed, and watch. Now, of course, still there are many other minor things you gotta know when working with the composition API. Some issues and problems you will eventually run into, which you gotta know how to solve when switching from the options API to the composition API. Which is why we will also apply the composition API to a bigger project to see all those special cases in action. There are a couple of special cases which I want to cover before we dive into a project though. So in the next lectures, I'll dive into some individual aspects you should be aware of when working with the composition API.